Do you know what I'm dying to know?
No.
What you're going to talk about today?
Well, I think it's going to be a silly one. So basically, just to give a bit of background context,
Hmm.
for when I'm dating and putting myself out there, I use Tinder. And funnily enough, I did think about this today because Tinder actually has a bit of a reputation for like hookups. I don't use it for that. I use it for dating. I just realized this today. I was like, oh Lord, someone actually sent me a message saying I'm amazed that you're even on Tinder. Now, that could be because they think I can't possibly be on the market. Or it could be because they're like, well, that's a bit of a slutty app. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not sure which way this goes. So I just want to clarify. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with hookups. However, I feel obliged to clarify I use it for actual dating. And there's a reason for that. Okay. And it's actually part of my strategy for when I'm dating. So
It's funny though, because like I think when you say outwardly, right, I'm going to apply dating to marketing, that people focus on the word dating and forget about the marketing bit. I remember when I actually stood on stage in front of, I think there was about 600 or 700 people in the audience. It was a digital event. And I stood on stage and I said, um, we're all basically playing a game of business Tinder. That was my opening line, and did a whole like presentation around Tinder. I even went on to Tinder to make a profile. I wasn't even using Tinder at the time, but I went on to Tinder to make a
yeah,
profile so I could screenshot it and have it in my slides. And then just the constant like talk about me being on Tinder after that was like, no, that was not the point. The point was the analogy. Anyway, so I resonate with that.
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe anyway. So well, but that being said, this is like you did do
we've
a really
got we've got another comment in the chat. I use Hinge. It's so much better. It's not the point.
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Not for my strategy. And I will say there's some caveats, right? I have noticed that it's sorry, it's not as effective for men. So, and there's obviously going to be loads of things. Okay. It's not necessarily, it's just a bit silly that I'm doing this. But I can say it doesn't work in reverse. Actually, it'd be quite offensive. My method would be it's just not okay for men, but it's okay for women. I don't know if I'm saying something really unokay because at the moment the current climate does not allow for people to say that. But there we go. That's my just opinion. Hang me out to dry if you wish. However, so there's some caveats, but it's just to be fun, right? It basically look at Stu. He's like, oh, she's digging. I think he's doing digging. That were you digging, Stu? Were you digging? I'm digging. I'm going hot. Anyway, um, you love this. You just love that I'm like, ah.
I actually had someone say like to me this morning, well, so where is this show? I want to watch it. I was like, not today. Next week you can come. Today, no, just come next week. Because I knew it was going to be awkward.
It's not going to be awkward. When I get into it, it's going to be great. But if it's the first time of someone coming to the Rebellious Business Show, they might be like, this is
Yeah, what is
left
this?
field. But well, what I had was it's just like we had this idea of like, we bring in marketing, training tips, tricks, and things about business as well in general. And firstly, Tinder's a business. I mean, that's a bit of a
It's
leap.
true.
I mean, it is a business, but it's got nothing to do with why we're talking about it. But but also dating is like very similar to marketing yourself. And you've also done you've done the Tinder thing before, even though everyone misread it. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. And I just thought, you know what, the strategy itself is quite fun. So I thought it might be engaging for people to hear it. It's also totally going to give the game away, but whatever. If I can pass on some wisdom and it can help a little bit, that's great. And also help people kind of make some connections about marketing as well, because the strategy revolves around conversations, right? And that's what we're big on. Like that's kind of what marketing is. So, well, have we got anything to add, Cordelia, or should I just get right into it?
You get into it, but there is one thing that is like just to clarify, dating has been compared to marketing so many times. Like it is an overdone analogy in a way. You'll hear a lot of people talk about dating and marketing a lot, and it's because it works. They work really well in tandem. Obviously, in marketing, we're trying to get lots of clients. In dating, we're usually just trying to get one person, so the conversion rate can be quite different. But there is for that talk that I
Yes,
did.
you are.
Yeah. Well, unless you are polyamorous, and good for you, my love. Good for you.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not. Just to
I'm
clarify.
far too insecure for that. I couldn't do it. But anyway, the point is that that there is it is building a relationship. That they're both building relationships. We talk a lot about the purpose of marketing is building relationships, and the analogy works really well. I'm sure, Caroline, you're going to unpack this anyway, but I do have like a slide I'm going to dig out that's got like the bases, like in dating you got bases, like, well, what was it when we were kids, like what
Oh,
base is this? It's like
these are all like
12.
bases. No, that's like an American Pie thing, which is really like
Is it?
provocative. Yeah. No. That's like a that's
Okay.
a that's a different realm. That's not a dating realm. That's like a kink realm.
It's not. No, it's not. I'm going to get the slide. I'll show you guys a bit later, but I've got this slide that compares marketing bases with dating bases. It's quite funny.
Okay. I have a
On.
different awareness of this, but I'm always, fine. Okay. Yes. Well, although I did have an extra interesting point to add, which is that dating, to be honest, to date, you need to market yourself, right? So then in a way you can say they're different in some ways, but ultimately, like you're putting, and they say it as well. When you say, oh, I'm on the market or I'm off the market, I'm just saying like cattle, really. But like it is like you are available for no yeah, okay.
Okay. Well, just yeah. Conversations.
Oh
Conversations.
man, I'm regretting this topic. Is it hot or am I just in Bali?
I'm not regretting telling someone not to watch the show today. I knew that it wouldn't be the day.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think
I've probably made them more determined. They found it, I reckon.
okay. Well, oh God. Anyway,
I,
you showed the slide about your
okay,
base.
should we do that? All right, I'll give you a minute to cool off.
Yeah, I need like a fan.
Yeah, so it was really funny. It was my first big speaking gig, right? And it was Expert Empires, and Marie Forleo was on the bill. Like it was a big deal for me. I was like, wow, this is just so cool. And so what did I do? I opened with this. And I have to say, it's one of my proudest moments is opening with this. Here's the Tinder profile that I created. Ex-emergency nurse, can't dance but tries anyway. Business coach, pretty ambitious, bring the banter. Right. So I was talking about how like I actually got those the wrong way around. See how much of a Tinder noob I am. Yeah, wrong way. Someone was pointing that out. I was like, oh yeah. but that here's where people go wrong with the game of Tinder business is they go, shall we have babies too soon? And it just gets you a delete and block. So just like you don't go up to someone and say, oh, I like the look of you. Let's have babies or get married or whatever. You've got to build a relationship. You've got to build trust. And so here are those bases. Someone swipes right on you is the equivalent of someone following you on Instagram. Someone giving you their number is the equivalent of someone signing up for your freebie. Someone actually going on a date with you is the equivalent of someone opening your email. And babies, well, that's someone becoming a client. And the reason being is because it's a different level of commitment. And a lot of people, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get commitment from potential clients here. And it's too much and it's too soon. And people just go, you want something from me. I'm not interested in this. And they run away. And so we need to build relationships with people. That was where my Tinder analogy went. Where's yours going?
I actually haven't quite joined the dots with how it relates. It just is marketing, and I'll figure out the dots later. So my whole plan for this is I'm just going to say this is what I do. Okay, this is my way to get dates, basically. Oh God, I'm definitely like revealing behind the curtain. So shall I get into it?
Yeah, go. I've
handed this Tinder strategy off before, and people are like, yeah, it works really well. Okay, so what I do. So firstly, let's get into the mindset. Okay, and this is actually a good mindset for marketing. Now, despite the end result, which is, having a partner or one singular person, I think quantity is the name of the game. Like, I'm like, you know what? I want lots of people to talk. I want to talk to lots and lots of people. And I actually watched this Diary of a CEO episode where someone from Hinge was on it talking about, a lot of stuff to do with relationships, like dating and attachment styles, and how they've designed Hinge in a specific way to be the good app to be deleted or whatever it is. And she said something about like, how do you know when you're supposed to settle down versus when you're supposed like keep looking, right? And she said something about the golden number. I can't remember if it's 33 or 37. Like, by the time you've been on a date with 37 people, you pick the best one out of them, and that's your benchmark. That was basically it. So if you don't meet the love of your life, or like someone who completely blows you away after dating 37 people, then it's not going to happen. The best person you'll meet will be in those 37 people, and that's what that best person in there is what your benchmark should be. And that's actually taken from interviewing. Like, that's how you interview at least 37 people, and it's the best out of those 37 people, and that's how you sort of like you have a good range of ideal prospects. So, and I don't, or maybe I've gone on 37 days, I don't know. Anyway, so I want to get into lots of conversations with lots of people, basically. However, if anyone's used a dating app before, you know that it's bloody tedious. How you doing? What you up to? Tell me. And then sometimes they'll do something really cheesy, like, oh, what's your favorite Pokemon? Or something like, I don't know. You know, they'll try and do, yeah, I've played before. And Squirtle, obviously. My ex-boyfriend used to do an impression, which will stay with me for life. Anyway, so they used to eat. Oh, I can't even. I'm not going to do the impression. Anyway, so I want to get her.
You don't need the Pokemon impression. We get it.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so there's loads of. It's just one of my friends made a comment like, it's kind of like shopping in TK Maxx, like, and this isn't like, this is nothing against people, but like, if you're trying to find something that matches with you, right? Like, and I also saw this thing recently, like, there's so many people in the world that you can objectively say you find attractive or you like the look of, but they're not your taste, right? So we're looking for people that match us. And it is like shopping in TK Maxx, because you've got a whole melting pot of everything and everyone. And so it's like, okay, like, how am I going to find someone that I blend with? You have to think of it like a funnel. You need to get a lot of quantity in to like narrow it down to get like a good to get some good prospects at the end. So that is exactly how you want to think about marketing as well. We literally have a sales funnel. Like, that is how it works. You get lots of people at the beginning. That's where your followers are. That's where your people come across you online. Like, and you put yourself out to be attractive to your ideal client as well. So I always am mindful about my profile. And interestingly enough, my most recent partner said to me, like, it was crazy how much sort of detail I had in my profile. I had all the pictures, but they were all me expressing my actual personality. So I've got some where I'm just being crazy or whatever. And then I've got a bio. And he said, that is wild that I even had a bio. Like, it was really wild that I had a bio. Like, loads of girls, especially because it's definitely the likes for male to females is a lot different. So a lot of women are just like, oh, I won't make an effort, because you get lots of matches regardless of whether you make an effort or not. But it was commented, I was told that the effort I made really made me stand out. So that's something to take into consideration as well. And if you are a business owner as well, here we go, we can link it in. You're connecting to lots of people. You have competitors who pretty much do the same thing as you. You can bet. So you have to showcase yourself. You have to show your unique personality. And there is absolutely no point in not showing who you are, because all you're going to do is end up on dates with people that you are not fit for. All you're going to do is end up with clients that you're not fit for. You're going to be miserable. There is no way to spend your life or your work life. Okay. So
sorry. That's the entire rebellious concept, is like, be yourself, don't wear a mask, because people won't be able to see you, and you won't actually end up working with the people that you naturally really get on with. So that's like really, really important. And actually, a lot of people really struggle with that. They come out of the workplace, they start a business, and
you try and fit in a lot of the time. So I wanted to be very, very specific about who I was. And so I made up a bio of things that I value as well, of things that are important to me, and also being very clear, like, I'm looking for a relationship. Like, there'd be some times where, I saw this comedian, I think it's Liza Scherzing, and she's saying, when you get a boyfriend, you're like, relationship. I love sports. Oh yeah, like cool. Yeah, I'm really easygoing, but come on, come into my lair. Like, no, I don't do any of the trickery. I like to be really transparent up front. Like, these are the things I want, these are the things I'm looking for. And sometimes I'd even be like, this is who you should be as well. Anyway, so do that. Now, loads of people are not going to read your bio, right? And this is also very relevant in business as well. Loads of people don't care about your bio or whatever. They'll kind of read your bio after they've like connected with you, as like, that's what I find. So I've got my bio there for them to check me out later and be like, okay, yeah, I quite like the look of that. And it helps them qualify whether they're in, like, that we're relevant or not. Because if I don't have on my profile looking for a relationship, and they don't have not looking for a relationship, but probably worded differently, then we don't have those things, then it's going to be completely incompatible from the get-go. So putting forward your expectations and your goals is really important, but don't expect someone to just automatically read and look into that just because you're there. You have to, the next part is about connecting with them.
So we're like, this is at this point then, that social media is like a Tinder profile, or like a Tinder.
It is actually.
So people might like, if they get a feel for you, then they're like, oh, she seems cool. They might start following you. But it's not until that kind of conversation starts or that interest deepens that they're actually going to go back to your Instagram account or your Facebook account or your LinkedIn account and actually have a deeper look. Like, who is this person? What are they about? Like, and then start seeing your values in the posts that you've been putting out, the stories you've been telling, the things you've been saying, etc. Yeah.
So at first it's like you're piquing interest, but then they will look into you more. So
okay.
I always put a lot of effort into that, and that is really valuable in business as well. We do say don't spend ages building a website, don't do that, but like putting yourself out there is slightly different.
Well, not at the
beginning. Think of an analogy of what a website equals in dating. Can't think of one. Like,
well, maybe like the Instagram account is like the Tinder app, but then your Instagram profile is your Tinder page, and your website is just an extension of that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But you don't need a website. I don't need a website saying I'm Caroline Antonia, like, all these things, like with calls to action on how to, meet me or whatever. I just use the tools that are available to me. I use the tools available to me. They already exist. Social media is great for that. So then we have to make an impression, right? That's what we want to do. We want to make an impression. And you also want to think about something that it kind of represents you. So this might be the controversial bit, but this is the kind of humor I have. And this for me is like, I find it as a really good litmus test. What I do firstly is, and I encourage everyone to do this as well, just like go scroll. If you ever want to meet someone, or you want to, like, I don't know, or like you want to find a coach or find a business, go through loads. So what I do, because I can get bored and go down the rabbit hole and whatever, I set a timer for half an hour, and I have to like commit to half an hour and say, right, half an hour, I'm going to go on a swipe frenzy, basically, where I'm not going to look at their bio. I'm not going to look at any information about them. It's purely on, am I immediately interested in you based on just these pictures? And they're very easy. You swipe and you can just flick through them very easily and whatever. So I spend half an hour. I set a timer because after 5 minutes, you're like, I just don't want to do this anymore. But I'm like, no, the commitment is there. And this is about committing to it. So I set a timer for half an hour and I swipe. And all I do is just take my thumb for a workout and just swipe away. And then after half an hour, because like after half an hour, and again, it doesn't, but I'm told it doesn't work with men. It only works for women because men don't have as many options, unfortunately, on the apps as a general rule. But I swipe for half an hour. And then at the end, I'll have however many matches. Okay. So these are all the people that have liked me and I've liked them back. So I've forgotten about all the ones that I've liked and haven't liked me back. Like sometimes you'll like someone, you'll be like, I'll like someone, and then I'll be like waiting to see if they like me back. Because sometimes it's instant, sometimes it's not. And I'm like, oh. And then, like I'm over them already because I've got like a list of people I want. Then what I do is I go through and without any extra work. Like I'm not looking into their bios at this point. I'm not I'm not doing any real research. This is the point that's important. I'm not doing the research because I'm looking to see if I'm having if there's a reciprocal conversation to be had. I then send everyone a 9 out of 10. That's it. That's all I do. I send 9 out of 10. So I'm giving them a rating. I don't have any context. I don't have anything like that. Now, I would say a huge amount of this just gets ignored, which is great. Like, if you think about that, like, I could have like swiped, I could have matched with someone, then I'm like, hey, how you know, thought out a really thoughtful paragraph or, you know, something like that. And I've received these before where it's like, oh, this is a really nice thought, actual personalized paragraph someone has sent to me because they actually like the look of me. And, you know, sometimes I'm like, yeah, actually, I like your profile. I'll go then check out their profile. I'll check out their bio, everything like that. And I'll say, yeah, actually, I do like them. But it's a big risk and it's a lot of time wasted. And we're thinking about quantity to start with. So anyway, send everyone a 9 out of 10. All the people that don't reply, they're off. They're gone. You've missed your mark. You don't get the opportunity. Done. And that's great. So then I've got some immediately, I'll have some people that would reply because there'll be some that are active. And then, you know, some will show up later. And then based on their reply, I can kind of see whether I like the response or not, or I like it. You get some. So, and here's what's really interesting about it is you sometimes get responses that immediately tell me that you are not the type of person for me. So
like
sometimes
insecure, like insecure responses, like,
or arrogant. I think it's the arrogance. Like I get this a lot. Only 9 out of 10. I'm like, mate, you're lucky if you even got 7. I was just being nice. Like, you know, like they'll say something like entitled, like, oh, I'm only a 9 out of 10. Or you think highly of yourself, something like that. So you're like, okay, well, you're gone. And then you also get, interestingly enough, if you do this kind of experiment, what's really interesting is you get the same responses back. Like there's about 5 or 6 responses that I get back from this. And they are always something arrogant, like, oh, only 9 out of 10. Then I'll also get, oh, is that your rating? And I'm like, okay, original, but nice at least. Friendly, nice. Okay, I'll take that. Then I'll also get, this is kind of creative, but unfortunately, I get this a lot. I get, oh, are you telling me your birthday is the 9th of October? And I'm like, okay, it's kind of creative, but what's interesting is loads of people think that. That's their instant reaction to say, I'm telling them a date. One guy said, oh, you want a date on the 9th of October? I was like, all right, well, I'll message you on the 8th of October then, you know, 7 months later. Anyway, so you get these responses back. Occasionally you'll get some like really fun left field ones where someone's like, oh, this is fun, I'll dive into this, like I'll have a conversation with it, and they take it to like, they enjoy it and they think it's fun and they think it's silly and they'll like it. And that's really important because I've set the stage for who I am. By the way, the sunsets, let me just disable so it's going bright pink, right?
This does really relate to the Instagram strategy that we have inside RIA, like how to get 300 Instagram followers a month.
Oh.
Really relates to that. It's like fast and rapid connecting, and then starting a conversation with anybody that kind of gives you something back.
Okay, why don't you just give a quick overview of that?
Yeah, so I mean, we've for anyone that's in RIA, I know we've got a few that are in RIA. It's in the it's currently in the quick win. Well, it's actually in the Get Results This Week portal. If you want a deeper look into it, but essentially, it's like like Caroline's saying, quantity. You're going after quantity, and I recommend that people spend perhaps half an hour a day doing this. And it works on LinkedIn. It does work a little bit on Facebook, but it really works on Instagram very well. And essentially what you do is we have a couple of things that we set up so that we know how to find the right people. And once they're set up, it's very easy to find the right people. And so we go to those pools where we know the right people are, and we just go basically connect. And anyone that sort of connects back, we then have a script to start a conversation with them, and start off that relationship building process. And the idea is, the hope is that you lead that conversation to the point where you go, oh, I've actually got something that would really help you with that. It's a insert name of lead magnet here. Want me to send it over to you? And they're like, yeah, that sounds great. And they're like, cool, give me your email address. I'll get that right over to you, sir. And then you basically put them in the autoresponder. So it's kind of similar.
Yeah, I think what's really important about that is like, it's kind of like this whole process is like really automated and like at scale. But the idea is that you get into conversations with people that are right for you. So it's like it's meaning like, yeah, okay, it is lower investment at the front end, and people that might be like, off-putting or whatever, like, but if I mean, that's just kind of how it is. Like you're just trying to see like your options and get to know people and find someone that you really vibe with. So it is about scale and automation, which is really impersonal, and I get that, and it is impersonal, although funnily enough, like, so I've the few times I have been single and I've used this, the guys that I've ended up with thought it was specifically for them, and that was great. I hope they're not watching. And they really liked that because they
That's not the secret.
I know.
All this transparency nonsense. Come on, Caroline.
I think I told them in the end, actually. I did. I once told them and they got really like, oh, and I was like, yeah, okay, I won't. It's for their own good that I don't tell them. But yeah, so it does make them, I don't know, it makes them feel good. And that's the thing as well, as I'm saying something to make someone feel good. But I'm also interesting. I'm saying 9 out of 10 because I'm like, if there's something else, right? And funnily enough, I've got there is one response that I get, which I have an automated response to as well. I need to automate this. I need to turn this into an app. So some guys say, oh, where did I lose the point then? And I always say, oh, well, that's made up of personality and I don't know you yet. So it gives like that like fun, okay, like, I they've got some more work to do and can get to know me. And I think it's just really fun.
I think the flip side of that as well, just interestingly, the one that you're saying that the guys that are like, oh, what that wasn't just for me, is like, well, what do you think? I'm just a hard-faced bitch that goes around giving people 3s out of 10s and 4s. Like, you'd like to think that actually, well, I wouldn't match with anyone that was less than a 9 out of 10. So yeah, everyone that I match with gets a 9 out of 10, but I only match with people that I think are 9 out of 10. So technically, it's not only you, but you are one of the 1%.
Yeah, well, also I should clarify as well. It is based on things I like about them as well. This is not a super like just superficial looks thing. It's very much like this is my taste. So I'm rating them on 9 out of 10. And you're right. Everyone I do match with, I like them a 9 out of 10. And I don't know them their personality, so they've got some making up to do. It's crazy how little I put into personality as significance, but
1, 10, 9 10s or 9 on looks, 1 on personality. It's all that matters. We'd have to talk to them. We've seen together.
So anyway, I do that, and I have this I have automated sort of responses. It's very impersonal. It's very automated. It's very scale. It's pretty cold, actually, if I'm being brutally honest. But what happens is it enables me to then be, and so what happened is, and this will speak quite a lot of volumes. Swiping fast for half an hour, there's a lot of people that I go through, and by the end of it, I'm probably in conversations with about 4 or 5 people. Like, it's quite amazing how little people we connect with. Like, how many people are not our type. And that's not, like, you could say, oh, the superficial stuff. No, like, because after that, I'm interested in their responses and things like that. So it's really interesting. Like, it is really a funnel. Like, by the end of that, I'm speaking to a few, but those people I'm really like connected with. I find that I get great conversations with them. I have like I really enjoy talking to them, and I get really enthusiastic about meeting them. And I hate dating. I hate dating so much. I hate going on dates. I mean, if anyone's ever done the Tinder thing or the Hinge thing or anything like that, it's a nightmare. It's annoying. It's horrible. You end up on a date and you're like, oh Lord, don't know what I'm doing here. And the vice versa as well. Like,
Yeah.
It works both ways.
That's where the analogy kind of falls apart in connection to dating. Like, that front end bit works really well, the kind of building relationship bit, but then it starts to fall apart a bit in relation to marketing, because there's kind of like it's different at that stage when it comes to building a connection with someone becoming a client and working with them versus the actual dating of someone. It falls apart at that point, I would say.
Yeah, I think so, to a certain extent. But like what I did think that was really interesting that you said is that with the Tinder, with not the Tinder strategy, the Instagram strategy, you said you should spend half an hour a day on this. And that's the difference,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like I'm not going to do that half an hour a day. I could, I know I would have lots of boyfriends. No, I'm joking. I don't know if I would like, but
You make it sound so
I, pardon?
make it sound so easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not. But but with business, it is more of an endurance sport. I mean, I thought dating was an endurance sport, but flipping out, business is definitely an endurance sport. And that's also something we say as well. I enjoy doing this. I find it really fun. I find it really easy. It's an easy way for me to date, basically, and it's a fun way for me to date. And that's something that's also really important, is that you've got to find something that you, especially in business, because it's not just a one-trick pony. You've got to do things again and again. You've got to find something that you can sustain and do and to bring in clients. And also you've got to systemize it as well. So those are some really important things. And I think that's it, really.
It's a bit dark there, hun.
Yeah, I know. It always does. Well, because that's what happens when the sun sets.
That is a really important point that you just mentioned, though. Like finding something that's fun, finding a method that's fun. I mean, I know that we have a few people in our audience that like don't like marketing. And I also know that because of that, it's going to be a bit like forcing a horse to water, getting them excited about marketing strategies. Like it's a real challenge. Someone's like, I hate marketing. I don't like social media. It's very difficult getting them excited about marketing strategies. But there are so many different things that you can do, right? And this is the real key. There are so many different things. All you need to do is pick one kind of mode of getting loud, whether that be a podcast, whether that be a live event, whether that be a PDF, Instagram stories, Facebook lives, whatever it is, you just got to pick one that you really enjoy. And there is a caveat there, which is that a lot of people go, well, I hate video. Well, okay, there's a difference between enjoy something and nervous about doing something because you're not used to it yet. There's a big difference there, because I really do feel like a lot of us can get used to and get very comfortable with being in front of the camera, and it is the best way of doing it. But I think that if you can pick one thing that you really enjoy, then that's going to make everything so much easier. Did you just raise your hand?
Yeah, because I thought it'd be a fun way to soak, but then I saw you totally lost your thread and I was like, oh, I regret this. I'll take it away. But I thought that would be a fun way to sort of chime in. There was a couple things I wanted to add to that. So firstly, it's not all about what you enjoy, it's about what works. So I don't know, I can't remember what I tried before. I think, well, here's the thing. I used to be on other apps. And also here's why the other apps don't work for this strategy and why I'm on the Technically Slutty app. So basically with Hinge, they limit the amount of times you can get stop laughing. It's making me nervous and clammy. So with Hinge, they limit the amount of likes you can have per day. And I'm like, this isn't very helpful, because the point of Hinge is that they're trying to force you into having conversations with people. And that's kind of great. Huh?
Outrageous.
Outrageous. How dare they? How dare they try and make you connect with people? But that works for some people, because it's like, if you invest with someone, you might find like, actually, I actually like you now, and I probably wouldn't have otherwise. So it's a different strategy. For me, I wanted to talk to loads of people, because I find that even if you get into a conversation with that most of it just goes dead. Like they stop replying randomly, it just kind of like stopped. I have this really fun story. Like when my last partner, when we first were talking on the app, we were going to meet, right? And at the time, my mum lives in my flat in back home, and she was like cooking for me, and it was very good. I very much enjoyed that. And I was about to meet him, and she put lamb chops in front of me, and I was like, oh, sorry, I'm not going. And so I cancelled. I was like, oh, sorry, look, I'm not gonna come. And when we ended up together, and he said, what happened? Like, and he was going, oh no, I said something wrong, or I did this, what did I do? Like, and he was like really beating himself up. I was like, no, mate, I just got lamb chops made for me. Like, it's not that big a deal. So like, this stuff happens. Like you end up in a conversation with someone, they get distracted or whatever, and it just peters off, right? Like, so I found that Hinge didn't work for me, because even though I'd get into conversations with people, they'd go off, or I'd go off, or whatever, and it's just like flogging a dead mule, whatever it is. So that didn't work. Horse.
Yeah, flogging a dead horse.
Anyway, so then Bumble doesn't work either. I tell you why. Because Bumble, stop it.
Flogging a dead meal. What?
I said mule.
Oh, it's a meal. I was like, I hope your meal's dead.
I've got chops on the mind. No, flogging a dead mule is pretty much the same thing. Just a donkey. Oh, for God's sake, pull yourself together. I'm so hot as well. This is the only part of my house that gets semi aircon and internet, like, but it doesn't get either very well. So Bumble doesn't work as well either, because Bumble, the girls do start the conversations first. So it's not so much of a novelty that a girl, like, because I'm sending them all a message. This is another thing, some feedback I got. It's very unusual for girls to reach out first. So that's why it also made me stand out more. So the fact that I had a profile, the fact that I had a bio, the fact that I put lots of pictures up, the fact that I'd made lots of effort, and the fact that I reached out first really caught their attention. So it didn't work on Bumble, because that's how it works. Girls reach out first. So I wanted to be on the app where that wasn't the norm. And Hinge also limits you, and Tinder, you can go forever. So that was so here's another point, is that it's not just about what you enjoy, it's about what works. Like what works. So really important, and I get this a lot. You've got to be able to do something that you can stick with and see through to the end as well. Like whatever strategy you use, you have got to stick with it, right? Business is like dating in the sense that you're marketing yourself, but it is so much more of an endurance sport. I mean, to be honest, I'm not sure. Dating is pretty hard on the soul sometimes. It is pretty much an endurance sport, but business is, you have to keep getting more and more clients like that. You don't stop. You can automate it more, but again, the more you automate, the more impersonal it feels. Those conversion rates will go down. There's challenges on either side. It's really good to have some kind of strategy where you've got the stuff that can be automated and made impersonal automated, but you still want to have that personal touch, and you want to do something that drives that like the conversation and the conversion. Like you don't want to just be having random conversations with people that are not relevant for your business. You want to be having targeted conversations, and you want to have that, like, oh, here's what's for sale, here's a thing to buy. So you want to have that conversion. So once you find a strategy that works for you, that you can repeat, or at least do a few times, like you can have 3 or 4 strategies. We've got a few that we like to repeat, and they work, and we feel comfortable. Like we've done stuff where it's like, God, I actually cannot do that again. It doesn't matter that it's worked. It's just okay. Yeah. Like some things I don't care if it worked. I'm never doing that again. Like, so you've got to find your Cinderella slipper. Wait, no.
Name one. Well, what's one we'll never do again? We don't really challenge launches, do we?
Yeah, no. We've kind of decided challenge launches, they work really well. They're really hard. I would not discourage people from doing a challenge launch, but I think we've found a better solution for that, and it works, and we're working on that, and that has actually made me a lot more fulfilled. So what we've got going, we have a challenge inside our portal at the moment, which we can have ongoing if we want to. Whereas when we do a challenge launch, you are organizing it, and it's kind of it's like having a pop-up shop somewhere, like, and you put all this effort into putting everything together. Yeah, you make sales and it's really great, but then you're like, oh God, I have to do that again. And actually, once you've got the customers in, we want to look after our customers as well. So then you've got like the divided effort of going, okay, we've got to look after our customers, and then we've got to do this thing. It's just very hard. So it's like that we've found a better solution for us. Now we know businesses that do challenge launch after challenge launch after challenge launch after challenge launch. That's their whole business model. And they really work. But that doesn't mean that you have to do that. So you find a strategy that works for you, and once you do that, it feels so good, because it's like, oh, I've got this thing that works. I can, like, whenever I need this thing, like whenever I've got a bit of a client drought, for instance, or whenever I'm single, you go, I've got the thing that works. Do you know what it does as well? It gives you like a good, like, it gives you like a bit of an optimism as well, because you're not thinking like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Like, I'm destined to be, I don't know, broke or single or both. You know, like you've got things that actually support you, and you can do them again and again. I think that is very similar.
Got to kiss a lot of frogs, right? It's true. In a lot of different parts of life, you've got to kiss a lot of frogs. Like with the marketing strategies, I'm constantly reminding our clients that not everything we do is a success. Not everything. A lot of the stuff we do is a success, but a lot of the stuff that we do, yeah, like, but also we put out brand new strategies, brand new ideas, and sometimes they tank. That's why you shouldn't just blindly copy us. You should come into Rebellious Entrepreneur Academy and let's teach you the stuff that's worked, because there will be the odd one that hasn't. But the thing is that, yeah, like the thing is that it's the same with this. It's like I do believe that it is still a case of figuring out what you enjoy. I think all of these strategies can work. You've just somehow got to find a way to plug it in the right way, or do it in the right order, or get the messaging right, or something. Like challenge launches, lives, podcasts, YouTube channel, they all work. They take a lot of effort. You've got to get the formula right to get them working. But yeah, like picking a modality is really important in terms of, picking a modality that suits you is so important. But in terms of picking the one that works, there isn't a one solution situation in marketing. There's so
definitely to fit you.
So many things for a reason, right?
Yeah, it's got to fit you. Sorry, I completely blotted you out then.
Guys, I would be really interested in hearing what's your biggest takeaway. Like, if we could make you take one action step out of this talk today and implement it, what would it be? Let me see if you can come up with one. Biggest takeaway.
Does anyone want a summary? I'm like, no, we've heard you speaking long enough.
Well, just summary if you feel a summary.
I'll do it. Actually, I can't.
Sure.
What? Should do it.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Didn't hear. I thought you said something different then.
Okay. No, I said, go on, do it.
You've got to figure out a strategy that works. Okay, like whatever it is, you've got, and you have to try a few things. I guess there's a mindset thing in there as well, because loads of people probably like just didn't. I think I got bored of dating, and I found it really hard, and I went for a really long time due to attachment stuff and blah, where I wasn't able to get a relationship. Basically, I found it very, very challenging. Lots of blah, trauma and attachment stuff. And so I kind of got to the point where I was like, no, I'm gonna do something I've got to really take control of this. I think that's a really important point to make, actually. Like, I really took control of my dating life in that way, and that's why I had a strategy. And I suppose, like, if you want to make a change in any area of life, and you keep bumping into the same situation again and again and again, you need to be mindful about what's causing that problem, and then actually implement something strategic to change it. And then once you change it, and genuinely this worked for me to I think there was definitely 2 times I met guys that were just wonderful, really, really good people for me. And I think I'd even done this. I tried this once and it worked, and then after that I'd carried on going on Hinge and stuff like that, because I was told Hinge was better, and I had no success with it. I remember thinking, like, I think it was last year, and I was like, why am I still using Hinge? It doesn't work for me. I'm going back to my 9 out of 10 strategy. I went back and it worked. So I found something that really worked for me, and I put the effort in to find it. And so that's the thing I really want to like add, is like, you need to really want it, because it is effort, whatever you do, and you stay committed to it as well. And that is the same with marketing strategies. You've got to make effort to make it your own as well. Like, I don't think just taking on someone's strategy is enough. Like, you've got to make it your own, and you've got to really get why it works, and you've got to get why it works for you. and picking the platform and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's my
I don't think that was, I don't think that was a summary. I think that was an
It wasn't a
additional.
summary at all. I went on a completely different tangent.
My summary would be this, right?
Okay, summarize.
One, blanket connect. Find a
Yeah.
way, blanket connect with a lot of people who kind of fit the bill, but you're not necessarily sure yet. That could be our Instagram connection strategy. It could be standing on stage in front of audiences. It could be getting interviewed on other people's podcasts. Find a strategy that works for you, that you enjoy, to blanket connect with people. Step two, start weeding people out, or not weeding people out, but narrowing down in on the ones that turn out to be a better fit. So you're having conversations with people, you're finding out what it is that they do, you might be finding out what their problems are, or what they're facing and what they're experiencing. And from there, you're then offering them into your pipeline. Now, you can do this manually through DMs, or you can do it automated through digital funnels, right? So you offer a training to people, you assume the people that take up the training need the thing that you're offered in the training, and that the people that didn't, well, they don't need the thing that you offered, right? So that could be like how to overcome financial issues. That's a really shit title, but you get my point. If people click on that and they come on that, then maybe they've got financial issues, and the ones that didn't weren't interested for a reason. So the weeding out process, or the funneling through process, or whatever, comes next. And that's where you're going to take that relationship to the next level, or start that relationship. They're going to start building trust with you, and there is going to be a relationship that is formed, so that when you get to the point of offering commitment, whether that be in the form of a low ticket offer or a one-to-one coaching program, you've built a relationship with someone that started off the back of building rapport, creating connection, having conversation, whether that was manually or automated. When you get to the point of commitment, they are more likely to say yes to you. That would be my summary. Anything you would add?
I think that was excellent.
Marvelous. We've got a couple of people in the chat that say, biggest takeaway. Let's have a read of some of these. So Stu says, replies to new likes / followers on socials. That's I'm glad you said that, Stu. I wouldn't, oh, hang on. Maybe you're saying people that have liked your business page. If so, awesome. Yeah, I thought you meant like likes on posts. That's a bit overkill, that one, as a conversation starter, but great touch points for starting conversations. People have liked your business page, started following you, people who have perhaps done a lengthy comment on one of your posts, putting out a poll, people who have answered in a poll, people who have attended one of your events. Like, we could DM all of you today and ask you how you found the Rebellious Business Show and start a conversation. We're not going to, because we're actually really busy. But if we had a lot of time on our hands, and we'd love to do that, because we love having these conversations. Okay, Nick says, don't assume that all contacts are viable prospects. That's a really good point. I love that you've said that. That is a really good point. Yeah, that you're going to do this blanket connect. A lot of them are not going to be the right fit, but you don't want to make that assumption, for sure. And Jason says, did you get unhinged, Caroline?
Yes. You have not been hinged back yet. I don't know if that's how it works.
And Jason, it's great to see you on Zoom. You're always on Facebook Live. It's great to have you here in the live audience. Welcome to the live audience.
There he is.
Caroline, thank you for being brave enough to come out and talk about this. I mean, can we just, that it was epic, isn't it? It's been fun. Like, it's been also really informative, and it takes a bit of courage to go, I'm going to do a Rebellious Business Show in front of our entire community on my dating strategy. I was a little bit like, but I mean, yeah, let's do it. But I'm really pleased that you did. I think this was a really great session, and I commend you for your courage. I think that a lot of people wouldn't have the courage to come out and talk about that. So kudos.